Hello and welcome to Perchance to Dram. We are once more into the breach with a pair of whiskeys gifted to me by my dear friend and number one employee, Felicia. First we have the Tin Cup American Whiskey. It is a blend of a high rye bourbon from MGP in Indiana that's aged in a number 3 char, and an American Colorado malt whiskey. And I believe it's aged at least 4 years. And of course, cut with Rocky Mountain water. I will be drinking it out of the included tin cup because I only had one clean whiskey glass and I was too lazy to wash another. Spicy. Ginger. Quite spicy. A little bit of tropical fruit. Pineapple. Sláinte. Baked pineapple with a honey glaze. And then the palate goes a little bit deeper, a little bit darker with some of the body from the malt whiskey. Some good rye spiciness on the finish. Yeah, this is a decent, particularly for the price, I think it's about $30 a bottle, a pretty good whiskey. You're not going to get a lot of complexity, particularly at 42.5 ABV, but it has some really good flavors coming through. Kind of a fruitiness, spice, ginger. It's not a bad little whiskey. I'll say this whiskey punches above its weight. I'm very impressed, and I'll have to give some of their different expressions a try. All right, now for the Buffalo Trace. This is their flagship, I guess you could call this their flagship expression from the world famous Buffalo Trace distillery in Franklin County, Kentucky. So this whiskey is, I wouldn't call it hard to come by. If you want it, you can get it, but it's not, always going to be on the shelves no matter where you are. Just because Buffalo Trace is a distillery that doesn't cut corners and focuses more on quality. And for that reason, that's the main reason I like to think that they're so popular. And so you will see these, fly off the shelves. But here in Utah, we'll get, 100, 150 cases at a time, and it, might last a month or two. So it's not as rare as some of their other bottlings, like, Blanton's and Elmer T. Lee, Eagle Rare, etc. But it's, you're not always going to be able to find it when you go into a liquor store, in my experience. And it's pretty much their entry level whiskey. It's their number one mash bill, which is, a lot of corn, lower in the rye, 9, 10, 11%, something like that. They don't disclose that, but that's the estimate. Quite similar to the Eagle Rare. Very sweet caramel, a little bit of grape, butterscotch, grape soda. A lot of grape, caramel, and then a little bit into kind of a toasted corn note, almost kettle corn. The finish is dry and grainy. I really like the presentation on this. I think if it was too much, just the sort of sweetness in the nose and the front palate, I would not like it as much, but it does, have a good sort of arc. A little bit of spice coming through now, baking spice. Nutmeg, maybe. Yeah, very good. I recommend both of these whiskeys. These are obviously 375 ml, but for full bottles, you can get them for $30. Thank you so much, Felicia for the Christmas gift. And yeah, and if you're kind of new to the world of whiskey, I think picking up smaller bottles can be, very helpful as you sort of identify what you like, what you don't, and get into the different categories. So anyway, happy Christmas, and see you on down the dusty old trail.